about the wildfire seasons in Texas. And
yeah, so in the wildfire seasons in Texas, we generally have two. We have one in the spring and then one in the summer. In the spring, fire season typically runs from about mid-January through, I'd say, end of April, maybe into early May. But, you know, and it generally occurs during the time of year where we have cured grasses, winter cured grasses. Typically the primary fuel that fires get started in during that time of the year. And it ends usually when the green up of the grasses occurs. So like, you know, during, you know, like you'll see it end more over the eastern half of the state sooner, and then the western half of the state a little bit later because it takes a little while for those grasses to green up. They green up a little later in the season. And then for the summer, it's typically more, fire season occurs, we're going to say mid-July till about mid-September, and it occurs generally more in our timber and brush fuel areas. Because we don't really get the fast winds like we do in the spring and the winter, which pushes, you know, through the grass fires. But in the summer, we typically see the hot temperatures that dry the timber and brush fuels, and they tend to burn in there, and they generate so much heat that makes them hard to control in those areas of the state. So we have a fire season that occurs in the winter and spring. And then we have a fire season that occurs in the late summer, early fall.
How do drought conditions affect wildfires?
Drought conditions really affect the fire seasons by, you know, the lack of moisture, and which dries the fuels. And the drier the fuels, the higher the potential that you could have an active fire season.
And what can landowners do to mitigate the effects of wildfires or protect themselves from wildfires?
Yeah, just one is to be aware. Number one, you know, they can be aware, making themselves aware, you know, through the information that we provide online about the conditions in their area. So that, and we also provide helpful hints on our prevention page on our website that allows them, and particularly for their areas, it will pinpoint their areas to let them know what the situation is there and provide them with some guidelines and some hints. But basically, you know, that's, you know, make themselves self-aware, and then just, you know, once they're aware, just to take the actions necessary to not do anything that would lead to an accidental start or anything.